The Alchemist is one philosophical book which tells us never to lose hope. The secret is perhaps based on that. It teaches us that when a person really desires something, the whole universe will conspire to help that person realize his dream. Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist tells the story of a young shepherd from Andalusia named Santiago. When he was a child, Santiago was studying theology, and his family wanted him to be a priest. But the boy's dream was to travel around the world to see their castles and to meet new people. So he decides to be a shepherd despite his father's refusal. One day, the shepherd Santiago meets a daughter of a wool merchant and falls in love with her. 1 year later, in an old church in Spain, the boy decides to return to the girl's city to ask for her hand. When arriving to Tarifa, Tarifa was a port town located on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea in the province of Cadiz, Andalusia, at the southernmost coast of Spain. He decides to visit a gypsy and old woman who interprets the boy's dream, where he saw twice. The gypsy tells him that his dream means that he will find a treasure in the pyramids and that she wants the tenth of the treasure in return of this interpretation. First, the boy doesn't trust the gypsy. But then he meets an old man called Melchizedek who knows everything about his life. This old man encourages him to search his personal legend and promises to help him get to the pyramids for the tenth of his sheep in return. He also advises him to follow the omens God sends to him and gives him 2 stones, Urim and Thummim, to help him decide in difficult moments. In order to achieve his dream, the boy sells his flock and travels to Tangiers. When robbed of his money, the boy decides to work for a crystal merchant to buy a new flock and returns to his country. After 11 months, the boy has to choose between staying with the merchant, going back to his country, and achieving his dream of finding the treasure. He chooses the last one because he believes this will give him the opportunity to conquer the world and to learn more things. In the caravan that heads to Egypt, the boy meets an Englishman whose objective is to see an alchemist and learn how to prepare the elixir of life. After a long journey in the desert, the caravan should stop in an oasis because of the war. In the oasis, the boy falls in love with Fatima, a woman of the desert, and he almost gives up his personal legend. Fortunately, he meets the alchemist who promises to accompany him to the pyramids. Along their way, the alchemist teaches the boy how to listen to the messages of his heart and decode them. When they meet the tribes, the only thing that saves the boy from his death is to use the universal language, to talk to the desert and the sun, and to transfer himself to the wind by reaching the soul of the world and praying God the most powerful. Finally, the boy arrives to the pyramids, but he doesn't find the treasure. Then he meets 2 men who robbed him all of his gold. One of the thieves tells the boy that he dreamed of a treasure in some old church in Spain, but he wasn't crazy to waste his time now and search it. At this moment, the boy discovers where his treasure is.